nothing but evil in the hearts of men. Y'all visiting the earth, it ain't no stopping him. He been sending out them prophets, you been mocking them. Angels on the four corners, you can't block the winds. These pastors saying peace when destruction coming. Motivating the people, they ain't learning nothing. If you a friend to this world, you an enemy to y'all. If it ain't about obedience, ain't no discussions. How you can't tell they'll be under judgment? They stuck up in the matrix, they ain't even budging. Come back to the covenant, your only covering. Destruction coming from the north, prophecy rushing. Nation against nation, that's what's up next. Famous coming, robberies gon' have you upset. Second address 15, 19. I done seen in my dreams. Our word, we really trust that. And we glory in tribulation. Who should we feel? Messiah coming back, we can feel it in the air. We glory in tribulation. Who should we feel? The Ruach HaKodesh, we can feel it right here. We glory in tribulation. Who should we feel? Messiah coming back, we can feel it in the air. We glory in tribulation. So we feel the Ruach HaKodesh, we can feel it right here. We glory in this spiritual war. Keep that oil in your lamp, cause they looking for yours. Walking in our true power, got spiritual force. We gon' need the Holy Spirit for that red horse, cause he the king of peace. Babylon burn it down, check the scenery. Resist the devil in this hour, I got seen him flee. We got too much on the line, it's a war for your soul. I ain't trying to depart from me. The same people saying the laws is done away with. About to find out he ain't nothing to play with. Our Father ain't the power to be messing with. If he talking destruction, he talking desolate. He's sending out them planes, who gon' turn them back? He burning up the earth, who gon' burn them back? You can't run to them celebrities, they in the same situation. You gon' see them begging, please. I'm about to set us free. World War III is at the door. Second address 15, verse 20, can't ignore. Recompense coming to the whore. I bet the other nations won't drink no more. It's what the prophets wrote about, now we here. Conversation with Uriel, the angel made it clear. If you keeping them commandments, no fear. If you keeping the laws, faith in Christ, no fear. We glory in tribulation. Who should we feel? Messiah coming back, we can feel it in the air. We glory in tribulation. Who should we feel? The Ruach HaKodesh, we can feel it right here. We glory in tribulation. Who should we feel? Messiah coming back, we can feel it in the air. We glory in tribulation. Who should we feel? The Ruach HaKodesh, we can feel it right here. We glory in tribulation.
You cut that out real fast, didn't you?
It was over.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning, Breaking Strongholds Ministries. Good morning, YouTube with Orlando, keeping it simple. How you all doing this morning? I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm not sorry, but I apologize for being a little late this morning. Just had to take care of some stuff this morning before I got on, but I hope you all have had a great week this week. I hope the Most High has blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness. I hope that the Most High has really blessed you with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. I hope He's blessed your offsprings with the same thing. I hope He has really truly blessed them and let them have their eyes to be open so that they could be able to see. I hope you truly have. My week, it's been okay. I can't complain too much. Just trying to stay out the way, I guess. Just trying to do the will of the Most High. Nothing major happened with me. But it's a lot going on in the world today. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, But let us go ahead and get started this morning. Let me read Exodus chapter 20. Verses 1 through 17. And it reads, and El spake all these things, saying, I am Yahuwah thy El, which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Els before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah thy El, am a jealous El, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy El in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the Sabbath day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah thy El. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservants, nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea and the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy El giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ass, nor his ox, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. Let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine to your kingdom, power to your glory forever and ever. So let it be. Amen. Amen. Good morning, good morning, and good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope everything is going well with you. I must say this, and I want you to understand this. Really, truly understand this. At this point in time, and what's going on the earth today, you don't have time to be doing no stupid stuff. You don't have time to be acting crazy. You don't have time to be doing vindictive stuff to people. You don't have time to be thinking that it's okay to do whatever you want to do. You don't have time for that. I'm telling you. You don't have time for it, because judgment is so much on the earth that if you can't see it, you really are clueless. If you can't see judgment on the earth right now, and you continue to walk in your transgressions, you're clueless. You don't have no relationship with the Most High. You don't have nothing going on. Right now is not a time for you to be walking in transgressions, or trying to do something against your brother or your sister in ill will. If you're still trying to go against somebody in ill will, you're clueless on what time it is. You really are. And I feel sorry for you if you are trying to do that. If you're trying to hurt your brother and sister and do some malice things, I feel sorry for you. Because what's going to come upon you, you don't even understand it. If you're still out here trying to do some vindictive stuff, you don't even understand what's going on. You don't even know what time it is. So I'm just going to ask you, if you are, you need to check yourself. Check your relationship. Are you going to turn some music on?
Oh, you want some more?
You need to check yourself. Because people do things. It's like when I was praying this morning, the Most High been showing me this. The reason why things be destroyed is because someone wants to be selfish. Huh? It don't matter. The reason why things be destroyed is because somebody in the picture, in the situation, in the relationship want to be selfish. Whatever it is, somebody want to be selfish. And that person who's being selfish wind up destroying the relationship. So, if you are still walking in transgressions, or if you're still trying to do some malice stuff to your neighbor, you're clueless. You really are. If you don't see what's going on earth today, you're really clueless. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I still see people acting that way. I still see people acting that way when they see that it's a food shortage going on. This is an intentional food shortage, but it's a food shortage going on. I still see it when I see people getting fired from their job, getting laid off. I still see it when all this stuff is going on around them. Crime has increased and going to continue to increase. How can you receive the blessing from the Most High when you are doing some malice stuff? When you're doing some things that goes against the commandments? How can you receive the blessing from the Most High if you're doing malice stuff? If you're doing things that goes against the Most High? Or going against your neighbor? How can you expect for the Most High to bless you when you hating on your brother and sister? How can you say you want the Most High to bless you when you're doing things that's going to be detrimental to your relationship? How can you be blessed? How? Because karma is what goes around comes around. If I'm gonna talk on a plain level, karma is what goes around, what comes around goes around, or you reap what you sow. People try to be scandalous in this day and time, and I can't understand it. Thinking that it's not gonna come back on them.
It's coming back quick.
Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 16. I'm gonna say something to you, and I'm serious. If you are still doing some malice stuff, knowing that your intentions are not good, understanding that it's gonna come right back on you. Whatever you're doing that's negative, it's gonna come right back on you. So I'm gonna advise you, and I'm gonna ask you not to do it. Because if you're doing it, you're doing that malice stuff, it's gonna come right back on you. And it's gonna be double. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14 through 21. In the key verse, I said verse 15. I'm going to use verse 15. And it reads, But Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the land where he has driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Let me read it over. It says, But Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the land whither he has driven them. And I will bring them again, the word again, into their land that I had gave unto their fathers. If I may give a title of the text today, the title of the text today is, There's a Major Shift on the Earth. there's a major shift on the earth. The word shift is a 12th century word, and it means to move, to change place or position. Understand, to move, to change place or position, to change its direction. Arrange, place, put in order. To put in order, understand that. Okay. Let me read you something. I'm kind of boiling right now. I'm kind of hot. I really am. I'm hot. Okay? So, we all know the book of Jeremiah, he is called a weeping prophet. We understand that Jeremiah is considered to be a prophet for the tribe of Israel, or for the tribe of Judah. And he was basically giving a forewarning to the children of Judah, or to the southern tribe of Israel, for their future and their captivities and things of that nature, what would happen to them if they don't stop being a rebellious nation. He also told them their future judgments, but he also gave them their future redemptions and their resurrections. But there was something special about Jeremiah. He wasn't allowed to marry nor have children. Jeremiah was set aside to just do the mission of the Most High. He reminds me of Samson, who was set aside, the Most High, Yahshua the Hamashiach, who was set aside just to do the mission of the Most High and to prophesy to the children of Israel, and to be able to deliver them out of the hands and to get them to understand their way of life and how they was living. He was there to help them along their path and be able to get them to understand certain things about, where they was going, where they was headed. He was talking to them. He was trying to enlighten them on what's actually taking place in the land and what's actually going on. Because they actually didn't see what they was doing was wrong. And see, yesterday I was talking to this guy who I like a lot. He's an acquaintance at work. I appreciate him and I appreciate his conversations. And yesterday when him and I was talking, or when we was talking, he was just telling me in a comical way, but in a serious way, how the church was. He was talking to me in a comical way, but he was serious, but he was playing, but he was talking from how the church, the Christian church, operated during the time that he was in the church. And he was telling me some things, and I was just laughing. It was hilarious on how he was saying it, but it was so real. And I just couldn't believe that I could believe it, but everything that he was saying about what the church was doing, it was so true and so on point. But it was also misleading the people. It was misleading the people in so many in so many ways. It was how can I say it? He was being facetious, if I may say. He's being very facetious. Serious but comical. Because the way he was talking about is, let's go get this money, let's go get this money, let's go get this money, let's go get this money. Even though I know he was playing, but that's the idea of the church. The ideas of the church is it's about prosperity. It's not about saving souls. The church, the modern day church was all about prosperity and not about saving souls. But in the midst of them trying to get prosperity, they lost a lot of souls. They lost a lot of people along the way. They allowed a lot of people to do things that they should never done. And the church misled people along the way because they was teaching prosperity ministry. He even gave me an example, and I couldn't believe that he remembered this stuff, but it let me know how involved he was in the church and how seriously he took the church, but how the church intentionally pimped, how he intentionally misunderstood the church. He said the church would have raffles, giveaways every year. He said the church in need, when the church is in need for money, the church will have a raffle. He said the church would tell everybody we having a raffle, and when they did a drawing, he said they draw a name that nobody know nothing about. He said the name would be Billie Jean, and nobody in the church was named Billie Jean, but the church collected all the money that they got from the members, but there was no such thing as a name called Billie Jean. But the church was telling people, oh, we need this raffle to collect money for the church, and we're going to have this raffle, and when we pull this name Billie Jean, then nobody come up to accept the prize. Because the only thing they was doing was trying to get money from the people to pattern their pockets. And see, when him and I was talking yesterday, or when we was talking yesterday, he said he would try to encourage me, but I understand why he was doing it, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation. But he would say to me, man, you need to let that book go, man, you need to let that book go. But I understand why he was saying it. I embrace the conversation. I said it's a difference between reading and researching. I said you can easily get misled if you're just going to read the Bible. I said, but you can't get misled if you're going to research the Bible. I said it's a totally different thing if you're going to read it compared to research. Because sometimes you could just be reading for entertainment. But when you research it, you're doing it for intellect. You're trying to learn. You're trying to grow. You're trying to obtain knowledge when you do research. And then he understood what I was saying because I used another example so that he could understand it. And we had a good conversation, but it's like at that point in time, he knew that the church was misleading the people. And he understood that prosperity ministry didn't have anything to do with the creator of the universe. And he understood that what the church was doing was making the people worship wood and stone, money, and things of that nature. It didn't have anything to do with the spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh. And see, that what was going on with the children of Israel in the book of Jeremiah, because Jeremiah, he was a weeping prophet. He saw the conditions of the people. And he saw what was going on with them, and he was trying to plead with them, hey, you need to stop what you're doing because the simple fact is it's leading you astray. everything that you're doing don't have anything to do with the Creator. It don't have anything to do with worshiping in spirit and in truth. He was trying to say, man, y'all need to stop this stuff because it ain't leading them but down the road of destruction. That's why I was so angry when I got on. I was angry when I got on because at this point in time, you still got people who doing some foolish stuff in this day and time and thinking you're going to get away with it when you really ain't going to get away with it. But the only thing that it's doing is only thing that you're doing is revealing yourself to the people that is around you about your character. Because people are going to see your judgment, but they may not tell you your judgment, but they're going to see your judgment and see what you're going through and laugh and say, uh-huh. And I'm going to give you some examples today. Because you reap what you sow. And that's what Jeremiah was trying to tell you. Stop doing what you're doing. Stop doing what you're doing because he don't want you to go through it no more. But in chapter 16, in the first 13 verses, it was about what was taking place on the land and what Israel would go through, or the tribe of Judah would go through. They would go through famine and swords and pestilence. They would go through famine. They would go through fighting and they would die because of their miseducation, because of their lack of. Okay, I'm going to read verse 1 through 4. It said, the word of Yahuwah came also unto me, saying, thou shalt not take thee wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place. He was talking to Jeremiah. He said, for thus said Yahuwah concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, that is born in Babylon. Listen to this. Because our disobedience, the Most High prophesied what would happen to our offsprings. He said, concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begotten them in this land. He's telling you what's going to happen to the people in the land of Babylon. He said, they shall die a grievous death. They shall not be laymen, and neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dongs upon the face of the earth. You know what the word dong means? Doo-doo. They shall be like doo-doo upon the face of the earth. And they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcass shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the fields. He said, because they have sinned so much, they're going to be like doo-doo on the earth. They're going to die by sword. They're going to die by famine. And the animal's going to eat their carcass. This is what Jeremiah was telling the children of Judah, the southern tribe of Israel. Hey man, y'all don't need to do no malice stuff because this is going to happen. This is going to happen to you, your children, your husband, and your wife. Don't do it because this is going to happen. Don't be sinning in the land. And it said, for thus said Yahuwah, enter not into the houses of mourning, neither go to lament, nor bemourn them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, saith Yahuwah, even the loving kindness and mercy. But he says, both the great and small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men be laymen for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning, to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall man give them the cup of consolation to drink for their fathers or for their mothers. He said the condition was going to be so bad where ain't nobody gonna be mourning for nobody. Ain't nobody gonna have no sorrow. Ain't nobody gonna have no nothing. Ain't nobody gonna have nothing for the people of Israel. Ain't nobody gonna have no regret for them. You said, because, hey, I told you not to sin. I told you not to do this in this place where you are. And you still doing it. Certain things is going to happen to you if you continue to do it. That's what Jeremiah was talking to the children of Israel, telling the children of Israel, don't do this and don't do that and don't do this and don't do that. Because if you do, this is what's going to happen to you. And the reason why Jeremiah couldn't have no children and all of that, because he didn't want them to go through that. He didn't want Jeremiah to experience what the Most High, what the children of Israel or the tribe of Judah were going to experience. He didn't want them to experience that. He didn't want Jeremiah to experience that, but he wanted Jeremiah to talk to the people about what was going to happen. But also Jeremiah was talking to about restoration and see, we are in that time of restoration. We are in that time of restoration because we have went through that, what they call Jacob's trouble. We have been through Jacob's trouble. Our trouble stopped in 2019. In November 2019, our troubles stopped. Those who was obeying the law, statutes, and commandment, and who was listening to the Most High, our troubles stopped at that point, and we started to be resurrected. That's when our trouble stopped and our blessings started to begin. But we still had to go through some stuff. So that's what 14 through 21 is about, the restoration. And I want us to understand something. Let me have one of your shirts.
I don't have them.
What are they at?
Not looking.
Okay, cool. Okay, so that's right now we're in a season of restoration. Because when I was doing some research this morning on the topic that I'm talking about, there's a major shift on the earth, it brought me to Russia and Ukraine. It really brought me to that. It brought me to study that a little bit about Russia and Ukraine. Because if we look at things on the surface, we'll never see what's actually going on, because the surface only gives you a little small glimpse of what's actually taking place up underneath the surface. If we're looking at things on the surface, it only gives you a small glimpse. I wanted a shirt.
Oh, okay.
But it's okay. I'll get it next time. It only gives you a small glimpse of what's going on up underneath the surface. Say hypothetically, if a person has cancer, he's going through radiation treatment. You may see a small glimpse of a person going through radiation treatment because they lost their hair. But you may not actually know the severity of the complications on the inside. So because you don't know the complications you don't know the severity of the person's internal issues, you can only see this loss of hair, but you know something is going on because he lost his hair, but you don't know the depth of it when you look inside, because you can't see the inside of the body. That's what's actually I'm talking about today, because we can't see the inside. We can't go up, because we don't do major research to go up underneath the surface to see what's going on. We only can see a glimpse of it when we look at what the eyes could see. We only see a glimpse of it because we see what the eyes could see. We never understand why truly America has sent $80 billion over to Ukraine. We really don't know truly why America has sent $80 billion over to Ukraine. We don't know why, because we don't go up underneath the surface. And if we don't go up underneath the surface, we'll never understand why. See, this goes back what's going on now goes way back to the 1930s and 1940s. This goes back to that period there with Russia and Ukraine. This is not just this is not something just popped up. This goes back to the 30s and the 40s. But it also goes to the biblical times. In the biblical times it goes to now is the fulfillment of prophecy and Israel being restored, or the Hebrew Israelites being restored to the promise. That's why I say it's a restoration period, because things are shifting on the earth and everything is going back to normal, but people don't even going back to the natural state, but people don't even realize that everything is going back to the natural state. Everything is going back to the natural state, but they don't even consciously know that, because some of us are not going deep into the book. It's like my wife, right? She going into business doing detoxing and selling essential oils and things of that nature. And she's been training for this for a good period of time, because the Most High been moving her and moving us to eating whole, eating natural, growing our own foods, taking herbs and vitamins, going the natural route. But he's been preparing us for this route since 2019. And consciously we didn't realize what he was doing. Subconsciously we didn't know what he was doing, but we just thought we was doing what we was doing to protect ourselves. But he was actually, the Ruach HaKodesh was moving us in a way to go to a natural state more, and to get off the chemical based stuff, to go back to the Most High. But in order for us to be able to understand that, we had to be in touch with the Most High to be able to understand it. But now we see it, because it's a movement now where everybody is moving back to the natural state of doing things, meaning getting off the processed food, getting off the everything that is considered to be harmful to the body. But people don't realize that the Most High is causing a major shift to come on the earth. And it's not in just one direction. It's in so many things. It's in so many things where we can't even, if we don't do no sit down, if we don't do no meditating, we'll miss it. That's why I say it's a major shift going on the earth, and we don't even recognize, because he's moving things. He's moving us from the pharmaceuticals, and he's moving us from the processed stuff and taking us back to the natural way of living. And because the guy who I told you I had a conversation with early on, every time he see me, he joked to me about eating meat. He said, man, you don't need to be eating that meat. You need to let that meat go. And I said, man, I'm down to eat meat one time a day. I said, I'm going to work on eating meat and start cutting out meat a whole lot more. Because what they put in the meat today is damaging to the body. So the Most High is moving in a way where it's restoring his people, but if we don't do no major research, we can't see it. If we don't do no major meditation, we can't see it. If we don't do no major praying, we can't see it. And that's what Jeremiah was talking about in 16. He said, okay, in 20, he said, he said, your punishment is up in 2019. But now it's the beginning of your restoration. Okay, so now let's go to Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 14. Okay, and it reads, it says, therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that it shall no more be said, Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. He said it ain't going to be no more in the past tense that you think about what the Most High did for you. But it's also going to be in the present tense. Okay, it says, because we're talking about the past and the present. It says, but Yahuwah liveth there, brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the land whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again unto their land that I gave unto their fathers. He said, you're not just going to think about the Most High in the past. He said, you're not just going to think about the Most High in the present. But there's also going to be some future events to let you know that, hey, this is going to happen for my redemption. Because we're talking about redemption. Redemption. Okay, so let me say something. Redemption. Redemption means to repurchase of captured goods or prisoners. Repurchase of captured goods or prisoners. The act of procuring the deliverance of person or thing from the possessions and powers of captured by the payment of equivalent of ransom released as the redemption. Okay, redemption means deliverance from bondage, stress, distress, or from liability to an evil or fortitude, either by money or labor or other means. Jeremiah 27 and 30, Jeremiah 32 and 7, it says, behold, Hananiah, the son of Shimei, thy uncle, shall come unto thee, saying, buy thee my field. Now that ain't good enough. It says in Leviticus 25 and 24, it says, in all the land of your possession ye shall grant a redemption for the land. It means that you're going to be able to repurchase. We being redeemed, or our redemption is present right here at this moment. Okay? Because it's not talking about it's not just, in verse 14 and 15, it's not just talking about the past. It's talking about the present and the future. Okay? He has to be able to do something for the future. Okay? It says, therefore, behold, the day comes, saith Yahuwah, that it shall no more be said, Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. That's past tense. It says, but Yahuwah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the land where he has driven them. Okay, that's the present. Then it says, and I will bring them again to their land that I gave unto their fathers. That's the future. Okay? So he's talking about the days of the past. We're going to remember the Most High in the days of the past, the days of the present, and the days of the future. Let's go to Isaiah 43 so that you can understand those two verses better. Isaiah 43, 18 and 19. Because we're talking about a major shift that's coming on. And see, how we look at a major shift and how other people look at a major shift is totally different. See, we suffered our time. Now when we see other people suffer, we see it as a redemption. They can see it as a punishment. Okay, it says in verse 17, 18 and 19, it says, which bringeth forth the chariots and horse, the army and the power. They shall lie down together, and they shall not rise. They are extinct. They are quenched as a toad. Listen, talking about that, your enemy army. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. He said, don't remember your oppressed period because it's over with. Don't remember the things that you went through in your oppression state. Everything that happened to you in the past, forget about it because it's no more longer exists. He says, behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and a river in the desert. Okay. Listen to that. That's talking about a miracle. Right? That's talking about things that looks impossible, but things that the Most High is making happen. Okay? See, my wife was talking to me this week about her getting ready to go into her businesses, and she went to other businesses, and she was talking to them about how their experiences have been in this process of going into their business. Because they moved from a pharmaceutical state back into a natural state, which is what the Most High created. My wife was asking them questions like, how was this and how was that? And the only thing that she heard was good reports. The only thing that she heard was that, hey, I am helping a lot of people, because that's what their main objective in getting into the business that they was in, was to be able to help the people. And they were saying, because of the conditions of the people today, I'm doing very good because I'm providing a service that they need. Understand that. The reason why the Most High is bringing the children back to redemption is because it's time for them to be redeemed. And the reason why we're going to be redeemed, because of our hearts is going to be more on the Most High than on prosperity ministries. Our heart's going to be more on trying to do the right thing because of what happened to us in the past. Because of what we went through in the past, we're saying in our conscious state, I don't want to be like that anymore. I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to go to something more natural, organic. I want to live for the Most High. I don't want to live for the world. I don't want to worship money no more. I don't want to worship wood and stone. That's the state of mind that a lot of people are getting ready to go into now, because they're trying to say, let me live my purpose that the Most High designed me to do, more so than go out here and chase money. That's what a lot of people are starting to say now. I want to do my purpose that the Most High gave me, more so than go chase money that is that I used to chase. Everybody's making a transition right now because this time of redemption is here. Okay? Let me go to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 3. Because we're talking about the days. We're talking about the days when we just won't be thinking about the past. We'll be thinking about the present and thinking about where we're trying to go. Because we saw the life that we had in the past, and we saw what got us into those problems. Because more people are trying to stay together in their marriages more than you can ever imagine. More people are trying to do the right thing than ever before because they see what's going on. Because I was just talking to my neighbor yesterday. He said, man, I had my nephew that died. He was 56 years old. He had a heart attack. He said, but he was a vegan, but he was overweight and didn't exercise. Listen to that. He said he was overweight and didn't exercise. He said, but he said, Orlando, but let me tell you this. Man, exercise. Even though you're not eating a lot of meat, he said, exercise, do the right thing. Because of what happened to my nephew, I don't want it to happen to you. He said, but do the right thing. Because what he's telling me is what happened to his nephew in the past, he don't want it to happen to me in the present and the future. So he's telling me, Do the right thing. Go get you some exercise. Get you proper rest. If you're on medicine, take it. If you're on whatever you're doing, take it. Do what they say do. He said, do what the doctors say do. Do what the Most High say do. Because right now we're in a time for redemption. And the only way that we can be redeemed if we're just doing what the Most High say do. And my friend yesterday, my coworker yesterday, he said, man, I treat people the way I want to be treated. I ain't going to mistreat them, but I treat them the way I want to be treated. That's what the good book say. In Jeremiah chapter 30, verses 1 through 3, it says, For the word came to Jeremiah from Yahuwah, saying, Thus speaketh Yahuwah El of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the day cometh, saith Yahuwah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, and saith Yahuwah, I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Understand that now. I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. See, we never know why Russia and Ukraine is fighting. And if you never know why, if you don't do no major research in who's funding that and who Ukraine is connected to, you'll never understand that verse. I did a teaching on that a good little while ago because I said, stay out of that because two brothers are fighting. See, Russia and Ukraine and the state of Israel are all connected. Russia, Ukraine, the state of Israel, and America is all connected. Those four countries are all connected. They're intertwined. They're brothers. The Most High is doing things that if you don't do no major research, you'll never see it. Because I will cause them to return to their land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. See, in order for us to get our land back, he got to move somebody off the land that they own. And if we don't understand that, we'll never understand what land that is. Let's go to Amos. Amos 9. And see, everybody is waking up to the reality. When I say everybody is waking up to reality, everybody is doing research. See, that's why I say it was all a setup. When I say it was all a setup, see, what they thought they was using for your bad, it also turned out for our good. See, the internet is the worst thing that could have ever happened, but the best thing that could have ever happened. Because you don't have no excuse not to know nothing. Because so many people are putting so much information out here that you don't have an excuse on why you don't know anything. And see, when I was talking to the fellas that I was talking to yesterday, they all were saying the same thing. They understand that who owned the land of the Americas. They understood it because the information is going out so rapidly that you cannot deny it. It's too much internet. It's too much information on the World Wide Web for you not to be able to understand and study what's going on and around the world. And see, now once we start to the seed has already been planted. Now it's just going to make people grow and grow and grow, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. Now, because we're not going to buy into the mockery and the foolishness no more, because what they used to have us to do, because they used to have us to say all this foolish stuff, and now because that's been wiped away and the seeds been planted, People are not going to buy into that no more. People are not going to buy into what they was told a long time ago. They're going to be like, nah, that ain't true. I ain't listening to that no more. I ain't going for that no more, because they understand that that was all a lie. They had us worshiping things that we should have never worshiped. Amos 12, 13, and 14, it says this. I'm going to go to 11. It says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, which is the tribe of Judah, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. He said, I'm going to restore the tribe of Judah. Amos chapter 9, verse 11, 12, 13, and 14. He says, I will build it as in the days of old. Because when he said that, the King David had it going on. He said, I'm going to rebuild you like in the days of old. He said, that they may possess, listen to this, the remnant. And I want us to understand that. The remnant of Edom and all the heathens which are called by my name, saith Yahuwah, that does this. And see, man, that's deep. The remnant of Edom. Got to understand that. And I'm going to talk to my wife about that. The remnant of Edom. It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of the grapes him that soweth seeds. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and the hills shall melt. Listen. It said, I will bring again the captivity of my people of Israel, and they shall build the waste city. Listen to that. Understand what I was just talking about. Build the waste city and inhabited them, and they shall plant vineyards and drink the wine thereof, and they shall also make gardens and eat the fruits of them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they shall no more be pulled up out of their land which I have given them, saith Yahuwah the El. See, my wife, right, she had a friend. Go back to Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16. See, my wife had a friend to come over this week because I have a garden in my yard. I have had a garden for the last 3 years, 4 years. I have had a garden for the last 3 years, right? 4 years. I had a garden for the last 4 years. And I started off with 1 box. Then I started off with 2. And then I increased. Now I got like 10 boxes in my backyard. And my wife talked to people, right? I talked to some of her associates. And they tell her, you all encourage us to do the same thing. To plant gardens in our backyard. Don't let that go over you, because I just read it in Amos chapter 9, verse 14. Because right now what the Most High is doing, He's restoring us through through the natural way of eating, not buying this processed stuff. Just like I just had one of my listeners, she showed us that she's growing her collard greens in her yard now. So we're now going back to the natural state of how we get our food. One of my wife's clients came over and brought us some preserved peaches, pears. People are starting to preserve their foods because now we're going back to the natural way of doing things. We're not going back into the stores and buying the processed stuff. The Most High is forcing us to a certain extent to go back to the natural origin, a natural way of doing things. And consciously, we don't see it. But that's what the Most High is doing. He's pushing us to independence from the resources that and the people that has been over us for a long period of time. But we don't even see it because we're caught up in the physical realm. But if we actually looked at the spiritual, the Most High is moving in such a way that we couldn't even imagine. We couldn't even do what He's doing. We don't even see it. We can't even. I mean, my wife is making natural deodorant. People are now making natural soaps, natural deodorant, natural hair shampoo, natural everything by using the things that the Most High produced that gave us on the earth. And He told my wife everything is in the earth, right?
Everything you need is from the earth.
Say that loud.
Everything you need is from the earth.
Right, so you don't need to have this processed stuff. So the Most High is moving these people out of the way who created all this stuff so that we can go back to the natural way of doing things. And can we really see it? We can't see it if we are looking at it from the physical. We can only see it if we look at it through the spiritual. And it's blowing me away. Because we started growing this food, building these things 4 years ago. Now we got 10 boxes. We have 3 fruit trees.
That's why He gave it to us, 2018.
So I can honestly see the spiritual and the physical redemption from the Most High by just seeing people do things, and they doing it consciously, but they doing it unconsciously. Because people are, they don't want to go where they was. They don't want to be where they was. They want to go into something new. They want to be doing something new. It's not just going to be on the eating or the spiritual. It's not just going to be on the physical. It's also going to be on the spiritual. It's not just going to be on the physical. It's going to be on the spiritual thing too. That's why the guy said, man, I treat people the way I want to be treated. All of us going to get to that point. I'm going to treat you the way I want to be treated. We're all going to get to that point. But we got to go through some more stuff. Verse 16. It says, behold, I will send many fishers, and saith Yahuwah, and they shall fish them. And after I will send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. The Most High said, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get the people that I need. And the reason why He said fishermen is because you got to be, it's like me and my wife and I, we've been going fishing lately, right? And see, I'm like, we went night fishing last weekend. We went night fishing last weekend, right? And when we went night fishing, we saw these guys with all these long poles, and they had all these glowing stuff on their reels. They had all this stuff going on, and me and my wife was out there fishing like we were going fishing during the daytime. And it was like we was like little kids around grown men. So when we left that night, me and my wife said, okay, the next time we go back, we're going to have glow lights that you can put in the water. We're going to have glow lights that you can put on the fishing reel. We're going to have a new reel because we need a 12-inch reel more so than a 6-inch. We're going to have all this stuff because we want to be able to catch the fish so that we can bring home the fish so we can cut them up and put them in the freezer. And why am I saying that? In order for you to be a fisherman or fin, you got to know how to fish. You're going to know what you need to have to be able to catch the fish. That making any sense? See, when you become a fisherman, you know what it takes to catch that fish. And right now, people are only looking for the truth. They're not looking for no lie no more.
Right.
They're not looking for no feel-good messages.
That's good. Yes.
And see, when you being a fisherman for men, you know what you're dealing with. You know what it takes for you to catch the ear. You know what it is that they need to be able to eat. And you're going to feed them what they want to eat. And see, that's what my friends are telling me. He said, man, if you want to catch crappie, you're gonna need minnows. If you want to catch catfish, which we don't eat, he said you want to catch catfish, you can eat liver. If you want to catch bass, you can use fake worms. But see, when you're a fisherman, you know what you're gonna know what you need to fish with to catch the people. And see, that's why the Most High said fisherman. That's why he chose Peter as a fisherman, because it's not just a physical fisherman, it's a spiritual fisherman. See, the prosperity message, they caught people who wanted to prosper physically and not spiritually. The pastors who taught that prosperity ministry, he was catering to your physical desires and not your spiritual desires. He didn't care nothing about your soul or your spirit. He was just catering to your physical well-being. And see, that's why he was able to get you, because that's the only thing you wanted. You wanted your physical well-being to be taken care of and not your spiritual. And see, that's why he said, and they shall hunt them from every. He said, and then he said, after I was sent for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain. He said, if I can't catch you with my fisherman, I'm going to get you with my hunter. Because hunter's going to set traps. He going to have nets. He going to do whatever he got to take to get his meat. Whatever a hunter got to do, he going to sit and wait for you. Like when I go deer hunting, I get up in a tree stand. I have on my camouflage. I have everything I have. And I'm sitting in my deer stand waiting to be able to catch a deer, hit a deer. That's the way the hunter's going to be. The hunter's going to be sitting and waiting, plotting. How can I get this joker? How can I get this person? How am I going to do this? Because the Most High is going to send us out here to get you. Because he know his people need to be taken care of. He know his people need to be taken care of. Okay? Let's go to verse 17. He says, for my eyes are upon all their ways, and they are not hidden. They are not hidden from my face. Neither is their neither is their iniquities hidden from my eyes. It says, and first I will recompense their iniquities and their sins double. Because they have defiled my land and they have filled my inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. Let me read that over. Verse 17. It says, for my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hidden from my face. Neither is their iniquities hidden from my eyes. First, I will recompense their iniquities and their sins doubled. Because they have defiled my land and they have filled my inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. Let's go to Isaiah. He said we was acting crazy. He said back in the days you was acting crazy. People act, some people used to go to speaking in tongue class. To learn how to speak in tongue, they would go to a class so people can teach them how to speak in tongue. Some people didn't even know how to speak in tongues, or they had the Ruach HaKodesh on it so they could speak in tongue, but they would just go to class so they could be taught how to speak in tongue. Some people can be acting like they really got the Holy Ghost, but it's a dance routine. You don't remember that? Some people act like they really got the Holy Ghost, but they go home and practice as a damn routine. They making the church out of the club. That was back in the day. People said enough of that bull crap. I ain't doing that no more. I'm not pretending a make-believe church no more. He said, but that's how y'all used to do it. Look back how y'all used to do church. Look back how y'all used to do church. He said, oh, that's gone. Isaiah 41:3, it says, comfort ye, my people, saith El. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished. He said, your problems is over. That her iniquities is pardoned. For she has received of Yahuwah's hand double all her sins. The voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahuwah, make straight in the desert a highway for our El. But in verse 2 it says this, that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquities is pardoned. He said everything that you did wrong has been pardoned and forgiven. He said, for she has received of Yahuwah the hand double for all her sin. He said, your punishment is over with. Now it's time for you to be restored. He said, everything that you've been through, all your punishment, everything is over with now. That's why we see the shift on the earth is because our restoration is here, our redemption is here. You may not understand it because you don't do research in those areas to be able to understand it. But because of what you think you see is not really what you see. What you think you see is not what you see. What you see is a shift on the earth that is for the redemption of Israel. Okay? Let's go to Numbers 35 and 33 and 34. And see, I've been having some internal battles with some stuff because if the Most High, if you don't know what the Most High is doing, you're going to be really battling with things because you think you're doing the right thing, but in actuality, you're not. 32, 33, and 34 says, and ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the cities of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. Okay, listen to this 33 and 34, which is very important. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. For blood it defiles the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Listen to that. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. See, we don't understand what's actually going on because we don't understand that verse. It says, defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit it, wherein I dwell. Listen to that part. Wherein I dwell. For I, Yahuwah, dwell among the children of Israel. When I was doing a little history, right, I was looking at this movie. You know, my wife and I was looking at this movie, right, about the Cherokee Indians and stuff like that, and how the Catholic Church came over and did all the stuff like that. But before the encounter of the Europeans, the native tribes was killing each other. They was killing each other over what? Territory, over land. They was breaking the laws of the covenant. They was killing each other on the land. So what did the Most High say in verse 33? The land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the Most High had to bring somebody on the land to kill the people who've been killing people. So because the native was killing each other, so the Most High had to bring somebody from the outside to punish the native. Ezekiel chapter 43. But all that is over with now. All that is over. All our sins have been pardoned. All our sins have been pardoned because of we have served our time, we have done the things, we have served our sentence. It's like a cycle. Our cycle is up now. Now the Most High has taken us back to the beginning, taking us back to the start of everything. Because it's like maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, Christopher Columbus used to have a holiday. Now they done took his name off the holiday. Because they saying, how can you have a man named Christopher Columbus or Bartholomew as a holiday when he came and crucified all the indigenous people in this earth, in this country? How can we celebrate a man who crucified and colonized the Americas? So you got to get rid of that. The indigenous people made him get rid of it. Because our time was up. Our time was up. I'm trying to find something. October 11th, 2021, they took off the name of Christopher Columbus and named it Indigenous Peoples Day. Was officially changed of Columbus Day federal holiday. They changed that October 11, 2021. During the time of our redemption, during the time of our deliverance, they changed Christopher Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. So no more longer celebrating Christopher Columbus Day. It's called Indigenous People Day. That means that everything is starting to be restored back to the indigenous people. Everything, but we don't consciously see that because we don't see it from the spiritual realm. Ezekiel 43, 7 through 9. And he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne and the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. Listen to that. Where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever. For my holy name shall the house of Israel no more defile, neither they nor their kings by their whoredom, nor by the carcass of their kings in their high places. It means that the children of Israel is getting ready to get some real true faithful people to lead them. In their setting of their threshold, by my threshold, and their post, by my post, and the wall between me and them, they have even defiled my holy name by the abomination that they have committed. Wherefore I will consume them in my anger. Let them put away their whoredom and the carcass of their kings far from me, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever. He said, you got to put away your sins. The children of Israel have put away their sins. I mean, it's everywhere on TV now, or on YouTube and Facebook and the internet, that everybody's starting to realize that, hey, we're the children of Israel. We're the children of Israel. We're the Hebrew Israelites. Everybody's starting to say that now. Everybody's starting to acknowledge that. Everybody's starting to research that. Everybody is. Because the Most High said this day will come where He will start bringing restoration to the children of Israel. And see, it's not just going to be us that does it. It's going to be the Gentiles too. Let's go to back to Jeremiah. Let's go to verse 19. This is what Jeremiah is saying. It says, O Yahuwah, my strength, my fortress, my refuge in the days of afflictions. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our father have inherited lies, vanities, and things wherein there is no profit. He's saying that the Gentiles is going to acknowledge their faults, their wrongdoings. He said the Gentiles are going to start to acknowledge that. And see, my wife was in the thrift store the other day, right? And this old lady, the court thrift store, right? And this old lady did something that was scandalous.
Wow.
Huh?
She wasn't old. She's middle-aged.
This middle-aged lady did something that was kind of scandalous. And my wife said, I know you just didn't do that. I know you just didn't do that. But the lady said, well, you didn't buy it. You didn't pick it up. But one of her counterparts said to her, look, don't worry about it. Don't entertain her wickedness. Don't look back at her wickedness. Don't entertain her wickedness. People are starting to acknowledge their own counterparts' wickedness. They're starting to acknowledge that they know their people jacked up. They started, huh?
No, she picked up what I was holding, but it's crap.
Yeah, she's starting to acknowledge that their wickedness is out here. Mm-hmm. People are starting to recognize, nah, we done did some jacked up stuff. We done did some jacked up stuff to y'all. We done did it. And see, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, my neighbor yesterday, right? And I asked him a question. I said, well, what did Trump do to you that you don't like? He couldn't really say nothing. But he brought on racism. I said, did he really? I said, or did he just reveal it? Trump revealed what was actually going on in America, but you all don't want to accept it. I said, Trump, he showed you that rich people don't pay no taxes. He showed you that there's still racism going on in the United States. He showed you that police brutality still exists. He showed you all the issues that goes on here in America. He said, but y'all just, he said, I showed it to you. That's what Trump means, to reveal. Trump means to reveal, to blow the horn. And that's what Trump did, and that's what I told my neighbor. He said, but yeah, I know that's what he did. He said, but in order for the country to make it, you got to give him a metaphorical viewpoint. You got to give him a daydream land. This is what my neighbor was saying. My neighbor was saying, oh, you got to sell the people a dream in order for the country to survive. I said, so would you want the doctor to tell you that you're going to live even though you got cancer? He said, no, I want the doctor to tell me Trump. I said, well, why you couldn't accept Trump? And so, all this is saying is that, it's saying that, what I'm saying. It's going to come, and the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely, our father have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. And see, people going to start coming to us and say, yeah, y'all the true children of Israel. We've been knowing it, but we just didn't want to tell y'all. Yeah, we know who y'all are. We know what we've been doing to y'all. We know that ain't right. We know why we did it. People going to start coming to us telling us this. Because they understand what's going on. And it says, shall a man make God himself as they are no gods? Listen to that. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand. I will cause them to know my hand and might, and they shall know that my name is Yahuwah. It says, surely our fathers have inherited vanity, lies, and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and there are no gods? See, we worship people who don't even deserve to be worshipped. We look at people as if they're smarter than us when we just haven't applied ourselves. We put people, we uplift people when we shouldn't even uplift people, because they don't even deserve it. They don't even qualify to be uplifted, because they don't even have the abilities to be uplifted or be acknowledged as who we say they are. But they gonna know at the end of the day, every head shall bow. It says, let's go to Exodus chapter 9, verse 14 through 18. It says, for I will at this time send all my plagues upon thy heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the land, all the earth. CNBC website. came out September the 30th, 2022 at 9:04 a.m. CNBC, September the 30th, 2022. Photos show the catastrophic impact of Hurricane Ian. The word Ian, the name Ian means God's grace. The name Ian means God's grace. Photos show the catastrophic impact of Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian slammed into the southwest Florida on Wednesday afternoon. A Category 4 hurricane, one of the biggest storms to ever hit the U.S., tore through the state from coast to coast. More than 2 million people, about a quarter of the state utility customers, were left without power. Severe flooding damaged homes and blocked critical roadway, leaving